Hey guys, welcome back to the Raidraptor combo video. There will be another video coming later on and where I will show you a deck list that you can use tomorrow to play this new deck coming to Master Duel with the new pack that we will also live stream tomorrow, of course. I've also talked about how strong this deck will be in my opinion. If you have not seen this video, then go ahead and check it out in the top right corner. I will show you the base combo, will show you what the deck wants to achieve, because I think if you understand the basics of the deck, then you can also find your own ways when it comes to going for different combo lines, getting hand trapped, and I will explain to you what the basic idea of this deck is and show you a few lines here. So firstly, the main line that we want to achieve here, you can do this with either your Bloom Vulture, for example, or your Tribute Lanius. I will show you the Tribute Lanius line because this is a pure one card combo line, where your Bloom Vulture, also a new card, is basically a 2-card combo line. The main thing that this deck wants to achieve firstly is get 2 level 4 bodies on the field so it can go into its rank 4 XYZ play. This is also very important for you in order to counter this deck, because if you can keep 2 level 4 bodies off the field from your Raidraptor opponent, this is very nice for you, because then he can't continue with his plays, or it will be harder for him to continue with his plays. We have a lot of Raidraptor monsters in the deck. Some of them are just normal summons, some of them are also extenders, and we have cards like the Bloom Vulture, which says if you do not control any face monsters other than Winged Beast monsters, you can special summon both this card and 1 Raidraptor monster from your hand. So this already gets you 2 level 4 bodies on the field, if you have another one in the hand, that is. But given the fact that we have a lot of them, a lot of engine, a lot of Raidraptor engine in the deck, it's very likely. So for the Bloom Vulture specifically, you would need another level 4 monster in your hand. This would work, for example, but I want to show you the 1-card Tribute Lanius combo here. So I'm going to put back the Bloom Vulture, but just notice that it's also an option. You play this card at 3 here, and we can just normal summon Tribute Lanius, activate its effect during a main phase. If this card was normal or special summon this turn, you can send 1 Raidraptor monster from your deck to the graveyard. We are going to send the Fuzzy Lanius, which, because it was sent to the graveyard, we can now activate to get another Fuzzy Lanius to the hand, locking us into Raidraptor. So not a big problem for us for the entirety of the next place here. Basically, we can now use these 2 monsters here to overlay into our core play, the Raiders Knight. And I will show you another card later on that if you can get this card on the field, it's even better. This is the core play. This is what you want to interrupt if you are the opponent. Imperm this, effect valor this. This is very important. Raiders Knight can now effect detach 1 to rank up into the next level, which is a new card, Raidraptor Brave Strix, which says you can detach 1 material from this card, set 1 Raidraptor spell trap from your deck. This is nice. This is what we are going to do. So we detach here. We are going to get Rack Up Magic Skip Force, which is able to basically skip 2 levels into another XYZ, which we will use to go into our Arsenal Falcon. And then once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, special summon 1 level 4 Winged Beast monster from your deck. We are going to detach here, and then we are going to special summon the Noir Lanius. We can then, during a main phase, if this card was normal or special summon this turn, you can target 1 Raidraptor monster you control and add 1 Raidraptor monster with a different level from the deck to the hand. We are going to add a level 3 Heal Eagle here. It's basically important that you add any extender here, because the Heal Eagle, if all monsters you control are Raidraptor monsters, you can special summon this, is an extender. An extender that we're going to special summon now, and the next thing we are going to do is link these 2 away for the link 2 of the deck, the Y-Strix. We can now go Y-Strix effect. If this card is link summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 or level 4 Darkwing Beast monster from your deck in defense position, negate the effects, and then we can also chain the Raidraptor Arsenal Falcon to chain block this Y-Strix here, because he if you send to the graveyard while it has Raidraptor monsters as material, we can special summon a Raidraptor XYZ monster from our extra deck, and this will become material for the new monsters. We go 1 and 2 here, and then we special the first big boy here, the old card that is available in this new XYZ pack that just came out, which is unaffected by your opponent's effects, basically. So your opponent will have to battle over this, and it has 3500 attack. The Y-Strix can then use the effect here. As I said, this will be a material to summon one of the new cards, the Mimicry Lanius. It's negated though, no problem, because we want to get it in the grave either way. And then because we have also activated an XYZ effect from a Raidraptor, we can set another rank up a spell with the Y-Strix here. The new card, Rank Up a Magic Raidraptor's Force, which we will use in our opponent's turn to get into the new boss monster here. At this point here, one thing to note, you can detach with this guy, this material here, and this then says that once per turn doing, no, this is not this one. You can detach 1 material from this card for the rest of this turn. All monsters you control lose 1000 attack. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. So what you could do here is detach, and at this point you would be safe from anything. Unfortunately, an Ibiru, a Drone Lockbird, an Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, and also an Impermanence, would have come down until now, and Maxi obviously also. So it's not that great of an effect. And also, if you have this as an XYZ material under this will give us another body a few moments down the line. So if you only have this one card starter that we had here, then you will have to keep this under the Ultimate Falcon as a material, because we will need it in a moment. If you can get another body to the field somehow, for example, you have another extender in the hand, then you could activate the Ultimate Falcon's effect here. Next thing we are going to do is overlay these into Force Strix. Then we can detach, and we can add a level 4 Dark Wing Piece monster from our deck to our hand. We are grabbing the Strangulanius. If you control a Dark monster, we can special summon this card from the hand. As you can see, there are a lot of extenders here. It's also level 4, so this is what I was talking about. It's not very hard to get into two level 4s to get into your basic Raider's Night play, right? And because we control an XYZ monster that has an XYZ monster as a material, this combination here, we can now special summon one of our Raidraptors from the grave to the field. Note here that obviously you can see this right now, we can just go for this here, and this is another level 4 monster which we will overlay in a moment for another Force Strix. So if you can get any other level 4 extender, as I already said, you can just detach this before that. Now we can also detach this here, and now the opponent can't activate any more effects. Next thing we are going to do is we are activating the Mimicrylanius, banishing it to grab ourselves the new spell, the Raidraptor Roost. We can activate Raidraptor Roost, and if we now XYZ summon, which we will do with these two, into another Force Strix, it's not once per turn, then we can also use a Roost's effect to add another Raidraptor card or Raidraptor spell trap from our deck to the hand. We get the new, also Omni Negate card if you control a Raidraptor monster. Target one face a monster your opponent controls, or if you control a Raidraptor XYZ monster, which we normally will, you can target one face up card your opponent controls and negate that effect until the end of this turn. So you can negate anything, also an evenly matched, for example, but obviously no Ash Blossom in the hand. Has to be on the field, so it's not really an Omni Negate, but it's very nice, and we will obviously use it. And remember, this is all from one card, so actually quite nice here. This also has the ability to shuffle back 3 Raidraptor monsters from our deck and then draw a card, which we will also do in a moment. We can now use the effect of the Force Strix to again get something to the hand, the Raider's Wing. And this is something I wanted to talk about before, because if you can make your Raider's Knight with the Raider's Wing, which obviously is also another level 4 monster, then the Raider's Wing basically says an XYZ monster whose original attribute is dark and has this card as material against this effect. Your opponent cannot target this card with cards effects. So if you can make your Raider's Knight with the Raider's Wing, that would be very nice, because that means your opponent cannot imperm or effect valor your Raider's Knight, which obviously would be one of the best ways to interrupt the XYZ monster here. Now we have it in the hand, we can keep it in the hand, we can special summon it by removing or detaching a material from another XYZ. It does not really matter, we can do this right here and detach something from the Force Strix. We don't need it in this combo, so you can also keep it if you want to. Then we can go Roost. As already said, we shuffle back 3 here, and then we will also draw 1. This is nice. We draw, for example, into an Infinite Impermanence, set our counterspell. The Imperm we will send to the grave because not part of the 1-card combo, but with 1 card, or for example with the Bloom Vulture that I talked about earlier, or with any other combination of 2 level 4 monsters and the Raider's Knight, then you can get basically to this field here. And as already said, if you have more extenders, you can obviously do way more here. This was only from 1 card. The problem being with this deck is that you have a lot of engine, as already talked about, so the likelihood of the other cards in your hand, if this, for example, was your 1-card combo, we have shuffled it back into the deck, but if you had the 1-card combo, basically the Strangulanius, then oh no, this was not the starting monster, sorry guys. But if you have your 1-card combo that we started with, it's not that likely that you will have a lot of hand traps in the hand, because we have a lot of engine in the deck, unfortunately. So now we pass over to our opponent's turn, and now we can basically do our main play, if you want to call it that. We go Rise, Rank Up Magic, Raidraptor's Force. During the main phase or your opponent's battle phase, target 2 or more Raidraptor XYZ monsters you control and or in your graveyard, including a monster on the field. If at least 2 remain face up at resolution, special summon 1 Raidraptor XYZ monster from your extra deck with a rank equal to their combined ranks, and if you do, attach the targeted monsters to it as material. So very complicated saying that you need to target 1 of the XYZ monsters on the field, the other one can be from the grave, and if this on the field is still there, this then works, and you will combine basically all the levels that you have targeted into another Raidraptor XYZ monster. We target level 4, a level 5 in the grave, and another level 4, so the Raider's Knight here, and then also the Brave Strix to summon the new boss monster here. And don't be confused here, obviously these would go to material under this card here, so this would have free materials, and also not 4000 attack but 5300 attack. It has unaffected by other cards effects, so it's also unaffected, but it also has 5-3 attacks, so not a 3-5 but 5-3, which means your opponent would need an access code talker with 5-3 attack in order to kill this thing here, and then it still has to trade with it because 5-3 is the base, or the most that you can get on your access talker basically. Access code talker. You can also make a bigger access code talker, but normally it's not the case. And if this card is XYZ summoned, you can destroy as many cards your opponent controls as possible. And then if this card has 3 or more Raidraptor XYZ monsters with different names as material, which can be likely, but in this case is not the case, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original attack of the destroyed monsters. This can be very nice in killing your opponent. Also, once per turn, you can detach 3 materials from this card. This would be done on your next turn. Then target 1 Raidraptor XYZ monster in your graveyard. This card gains that monster's effect until the end phase. So this also gives you some play opportunities on your next turn, but this is your strongest interruption here, clearing the entire opponent's board, and then you still have these 2 tower monsters, one with 5300 attack and one with 3500 attack. You also have this counter trap, if you want to call it that, and obviously a lot of more bodies on the field that you can use to basically continue your plays from there. This is kind of like a Pearly deck where you build an extremely strong board with tower monsters that your opponent can hardly out, but this is the core strategy of the deck. This is what basically the deck wants to achieve. You want to go for your Raidraptor Rising Rebellion Falcon, and obviously if you want to break your opponent's board, you also want to go for your big boss monsters because they are the most likely option you have to break your opponent's board. This is the most important combo that you need to understand, and it's not that hard to understand if you understood that you need 2 level 4 bodies in order to get to your Raiders Knight, and then you continue from there. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments, and as I already said, there will be a video later on in which I show you an example deck list that you can use tomorrow to play this deck. Let me know what you think. Will you go for this deck? If you liked the video, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell. This would help me out a lot, and we will see each other in the next one.